Hello, first graders. Welcome to a new social study lesson. Please get our community and beyond book and let's start. We are on topic 2 or unit 2 where we live, and we will start with page 56. All right. The list below shows some important words you will learn in this unit. Their definitions can be found in the next page. Read the words. So these are the words or some of the words that we covered in the previous lesson, and we have the definition for the words. So let's play this one more time and learn them or remember the words.
Cardinal directions are the directions of north, south, east, and west.
One more time.
Cardinal directions are the directions of north, south, east, and west.
Next word.
A globe is a round model of Earth.
One more time.
A globe is a round model of Earth. A location is a place on Earth.
One more time.
A location is a place on Earth.
And last word for this lesson.
A map is a drawing of a place.
One more time.
A map is a drawing of a place.
All right, so let's go to our book. So these are the 4 words that we'll cover for this lesson, and we heard and listened and learned before their definition. Okay, this foldable activity, you know that we usually do it at the end of the lesson, but since we have to go through, let's read just quick. A foldable on the next page will help you learn these important words. Follow the steps below to make your foldable. So we have step 1, they show you where to cut. Step 2, show you where to fold, and then you trace the words and complete your activity, the fourth activity or the fourth question. So over here, they show you a map. A map is a drawing of a place. So what place does this map show? As you see here, the United States. All right. So next one, draw a circle around the picture that shows a globe. So you see a picture of a city, and this is the globe. So you need to circle this part. And then they explain you a globe is a round model of Earth. The third part, cardinal direction are the direction of north, east, south, and west. N stands for north, E stands for east, S stands for south, and W stands for west. Draw a circle around the north. So you have this cardinal direction. I know that N stands for north, so you need to circle this part. And then the last one is a location. Location is a place on Earth. So Ohio is a location or place on Earth. Can you name another location? Write it below. So when you look at that in your globe, you can name any location. You can put it here. And then, as you say, you follow the direction for cutting or folding, and you do this activity. All right, this part's still very related to that activity. All right, let's go to page 59, primary sources. All right, a letter is one kind of primary source. You can learn a lot of reading by reading letters. Letters can teach us about a time and a place from long ago. They can tell us about people's lives and important events in history. If you remember in the beginning of last unit, unit 1, we had primary sources, and we learned that primary sources are written or made by someone who saw an event happen or lived this time. Of course, they teach us about people or place or events that we were not around when it happened. And we know that you can do that now by reading a book if you go to the library, or letters like that, or even when you want to Google on your on the internet. And we know that we also learn about artifacts. Artifacts is like a source that's things, an object that left. So we can see pots that they used to long ago, or fishing net that they used to, or tools for war, or things that happen in special events long ago. That's called artifacts. We covered this in the beginning of the unit. All right, but for today, our primary source, it's a letter. So let's read again, and then read the letter. A letter is one kind of a primary source. You can learn a lot by reading letters. Letters can teach us about a time and a place from long ago. They can tell us about people's lives and important events that in history that happened that time that we were not around. All right. Read the letter on the right. What do you learn about John's life? So this is the letter that John wrote long ago. My dearest Beth, we finally made it to California. The trip was long and hard. Often the roads were so wet and muddy that the horses would not move. Can you imagine old Lily pulling a muddy wagon? I miss you and our son. You are truly John. So we can tell from this letter that this is a letter happened long ago, because I can see the trip in the letter said the trip was long and hard, and they talk about the roads was so wet and muddy, and also talking about the transportation they used that time was horses. So they were using horses, that it was hard for them to move a wagon or pull a wagon in the muddy weather or in the muddy streets. Okay. So read the letter on the right that we did. Now let's see if we can answer these questions. What does this letter describe? As you see, what this letter describes. It's described a trip that happened long ago to California. So let's write this down. So this letter describes a trip to California. And how do I know that? When I read the letter that it says, finally we made it to California. So this letter describing the trip to California. All right. Number two, how can you tell that this letter is from long ago? As you see, I just said, how do I know that this trip happened long ago? Because the way that they describe the trip, I can tell that it's happened long ago when they say wet and muddy roads, horses pulling a wagon. We don't have this nowadays. This has all happened long ago. So I'm gonna write here, how can you tell that this letter is from long ago? Because they are, or he, John, is describing the roads were wet and that horses, or yeah, we're talking about Lily, so horses were pulling a wagon. So they were not flying, or they were not using, for example, train. So they were using very old transportation that time. So how do we know this? From just reading the letter. From just reading the letter, that the way they describe it, they are using, I can tell the roads are wet or muddy, or even the kind of transportation they were using, it was very old. All right, so this is, as we said, primary source, and in this we use a letter. So when we see this letter, we can tell what kind of life John lived and how was his trip, and how was hard or easy. All right. So let me maybe write the answer again, because maybe I just removed it fast. So the first one we say, it was describing a trip to California. And then I knew that this happened long ago because the roads, the roads were wet and muddy. And also, when they said here, horses would not move. That means they were using horses. Horses were not move easily. Okay. All right. Okay. So that was one of the examples of primary sources that we learn, and because of the information written, I learned and I knew what happened at this time, or what kind of the road looked like, or what kind of transportation they were using at this time. Okay, so that's it for today, first graders. Thank you. Bye-bye.